Okay, so this is gonna be the True Ending No Major Glitches tutorial, similar to the one I did for 80%. But seeing as how True Ending is about double the length of 80%, and also it's not a very beginner-friendly category, I'm probably not going to be going into as much depth as I did with 80%, simply just because I'll be here for 5-6 hours if I did that. So if there are any things in this run that I don't explain as thoroughly as I did in 80%, it's probably just because it's already in the 80% tutorial. So I'll probably refer back to that. So if there's something like fireball skips that I'm not going to go too in depth in this video, I'll just say, go watch the 80% one for that specific trick or whatever. Also, I don't do every room as like 100% optimally as possible. Either just because it's the way I learned rooms, or I think that they're safer, or anything along those lines. So there's probably like a couple of rooms, or a lot of rooms, that maybe there's a more optimal way to do it, but it's almost negligible for a lot of them. I'm also not going to be going into any other routes other than the route that I use. So this won't be going into anything along the lines of the Shriek route or anything like that. It's just the main route that I use for my world record that I got 2 days ago, yesterday, whatever, the end of 2018. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna be playing on debug so I can, show off things like respawn bosses to show them again. So in this game, you can do it's called inventory drop, where only if you're on 1221. So most of what I'll be going over, this is all for if you down patch to 1221, the Grim Troop patch. So for the last Grim Troop patch, I tried. So I'm going to be treating this like you already know the basics, because not a lot of people start with this category, if any. It's not really I mean, as much as I love this category, I think it's my favorite category in the game. It's not a very good beginner one, so I'll kind of be talking like I assume at least, most of the basics, I guess. In Dirt Myth, it makes you walk, so you just want to jump as much as possible, stay off the ground. Also, I'll be referring to the soul meter, obviously the circle in the top left, in terms of 1 through 9, because it takes 9 hits to get a full soul meter, and each hit gives you 11, and the max is 99, or really 100, but that one doesn't really matter. So if and each spell takes 3 out of 9, or 33, and each heal takes 3 out of 9. There's the Aspid Arena. Most of the start is the same as 80%, except for you kill False Knight. And that's just so we can get the 200 Geo from him, and so he's available to kill as his dream version later. Like I said, I'm not going to be going too in depth with all these rooms like I did with 80%, mostly because, like I said, I've already gone over them, and on top of that, this is assuming you already kind of know the game. I feel like I'm going to say that a lot, I guess. Alright, so the main difference between 80% and True Ending is coming up here. This is gonna be the false Knight kill. Basically, it's just you're gonna damage tank your way through it. Heal up to full. So it's possible to only get hit once there. It's really tight. Actually didn't mean to turn left, so it's fine. Kind of sneak one heal in there and kind of get the hit right as he comes back out. You can also just not heal and wait to the end and heal, you know, 2-3 times and then come down here and get your hits. And then heal 2-3 times again before the gate opens. Grabbing City Crest doesn't matter. So you want to try to grab as much of this geo as possible and make sure to clear out both corners of the chest. The main thing I try to look for is I try to get at least 200 geo when I leave that room. Otherwise, it's pretty tight. If I remember right, in my current record, I actually had 187 leaving that room, so I was really low. So there are other points where you can kind of make up for it and get a little bit of extra geo, but I mean, at the point where I needed 300, I had 304, so I was really cutting it close. It just depends on how much time you want to sacrifice for geo later in case it's all out of your way. So I'm playing on the Chinese version, or Chinese language, sorry. It's the same version of the game, just on the language just says Chinese in-game. Helps the text boxes go by like 10 times faster. I don't remember if I said that in the 80% thing. So I always hit that block up there, or that board. Kind of trying to round the corner. Oops. Whoa, did not mean to hit no clip. Doesn't really matter. So not much is going to be a whole lot different as far as like, I mean, basically the entire Mothman, or like Green Path Mothman Cloak splits are the same as 80%, so I'm just going to kind of run through them. Ooh. I already went super in depth in this whole split. So this is the first fireball skip. I'll go over it briefly. Just, oh my gosh, I can't get the jump. There you go. Basically, you just try to jump as late as possible, and then try to turn right for as little as possible before the fireball. Oh my goodness, I can't turn around. There we go. Yes. I found that it's easier if you shoot the fireball late. Like, well, yeah, I can't even believe I made that. If you do it really late, it's pretty lenient, especially if you jump off the ledge late. But that's a fireball skip. I think I turned off. Oh, I turned on invincibility on extra. Alright, good. So in this room, again, the goal is to get 7 hits. So I normally go 2-3-2, especially if this guy's here at the ledge. Oh, If you're ever short on soul, like if you don't get the 7 hits, you can actually hit those birds from there. Do this, and you'll hit at least a couple of them. But you want to have full soul coming in here. Another fireball skip. Again, it's possible with 1 fireball like that, but most people do 2 fireballs. One's a little bit, it's a lot tighter of a, it's just not fun to lose runs to. Yeah, you have to jump really late and then get basically a perfect turnaround, or at least close. But the main thing to note is to make sure that you're using quick casts. I swear I said this in the 80% one, I think, but if not, I hope I did, because this just, it doesn't activate until button release, because if you hold it, then it's gonna start healing. But because you can't heal with quick casts, it does it on the button press, so you like can't get 2 of those fast. You see, no matter how like you can spam it, and I don't even know if I can get it with quick cast if it's even possible. Okay, yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, quick cast makes it 10 times easier. Alright, so the goal in here is to get 3 hits, but 4 is also nice. Don't really want to go out of your way for it. You can get the soul later. But you want to have 3 hits so that you're going to be at 6 out of 9 and do a double fireball here. Again, fireball skip. It's the 3rd and last one. Oh, I don't have some. The main thing to note about this one is that you want to jump as late as you can, because if you jump early like this, you're going to hit your head and you can't make it. Trying to do single fireballs. Oh, I thought I had it. There we go. This one can be kind of difficult, but double fireball makes it pretty good. So yeah, if you don't get it, this one's the one it's not that big of a deal. You just have to go all the way. I mean, it's a pretty big deal, but you have to go all the way around over here, come back over, because you have to come up here and get this geo. And then normally if I would be at 0. If I'm at 0 soul, like if I only got 3 in the previous room, then I turn around and hit him once, just kind of make up for it. And you get over these guys each 1 hit. So now you're at 3 out of 9. The goal is to leave this room with at least 8 or 9 out of 9. Means 1, then 2, 3, 1 and 1. Should be 8. The reason I want to be at 8 here is because this guy dies to 1 nail hit and 3 fireballs. That first nail hit gives you 9 out of 9 anyway, so. Oops. So again, the objective in this room is, I mean, you can go for 9 hits. I go for 8 hits because there's 1 hit you can get without slowing down at all in the next room. And I go for it. You don't have to. If you want, you could just like do this and then turn around real fast to hit him. But I'm gonna show the hit anyway. You're gonna go under this guy. If you up slash late enough, then you can get a second one off as you're going under him, and you can get the free hit without slowing down. So I'm going to show Hornet a couple times. I'll heal just to make sure. It's the same as the 80% fight, so I'm not going to go very in depth with it. That's the Hornet fight. Do it 1 or 2 more times. But that's why you want to be at full soul coming in here. I'm mostly just going to be focusing on the differences between True Ending and 80%. There's one. Went way more in depth in the 80% run tutorial, but they are going to differ a little bit starting now, so I'll be going a little bit more in depth starting things that are different. So if you know the 80% route, you might be wondering why we go get Shaman Stone and Dream Nail first, and then we do Elder Who. But Elder Who's the reason, is because we need 1800 essence total throughout this run to open up the White Palace, and on the way to Mantis Claw is Elder Who, so it makes more sense to just do Dream Nail early, which wastes a little bit of time, like with the shade skip, because we don't have Mantis Claw, so we have to do it a little bit differently. But it just makes it where we don't have to go all the way back to Green Path to get the Elder Who essence. But anyways, you're gonna dash out of here like normal. Instead of going out to the left, we're going to go out to the right because we killed False Knight, so that room is open to us now. Oops. And this room is just dash across, so I'm going to no-clip across to make it fast. Most interesting room in the run. Alright, so I tried to get 3 hits on these guys. Just like that. You got to kind of react to the positions they're in, and then try to get a hit on all 3 of them without slowing down as much as possible. It can be a little difficult depending on the pattern they're in. They could be in a bunch of different patterns. So I get 1 hit on each of them, and then I get 1 hit on the big guy right there. And those are important because I'm going to get 2 more hits before the Grez arena, or the Grez Mother arena, and that's going to allow me to do the quick kill. So normally, whenever I get here, I just pogo off that background item. That. Come over here, unlock the stack station really fast. Shout. And then I try to walk to where this grass starts and dash. Dash off an inventory drop and cancel it to hit him. And that's gonna be your 5th hit and your 6th hit. You're just gonna come up to this guy. I don't up slash there just because I've gotten hit too many times. You kinda have to slow down anyway, so I just forward hit and it's safe. So now you got 6 out of 9. This is the same as the 80% quick kill. Nail fireball, nail fireball, nail fireball, and then 6 nail hits. If Grez Mother goes up, it's really inconvenient. Clicked all the geo, and then I said this in the music's still playing during the pause, but that actually ruins everything I was going to say. Basically, the music, the last note of the music is kind of whenever you want to be expecting the Grezzers to pop out. Kind of lines up, but try to kill as many as you can with 2 fireballs. Luckily, I got all of them there. You just dash over here, and we're going to buy Shaman Stone, and then we're going to get into the shade skip without having Mantis Claw. So if you've ever seen the 80% run, you have to do the shade skip, but you only get high enough to kind of pogo off the shade, and you have to get high enough by the way, you want to bench whenever you come out of the salute is important. You get high enough by jumping off the wall, and then dashing over, pogoing off, and then you, whoops, I didn't want to do that. There we go. You jump off the wall, pogo, and you get high enough to just dash to here, and then jump off the wall. But we don't have Mantis Claw, so we can't do that. So you have to do what's known as the Clawless Shade Skip. So first, well, there's 2 ways to do it. I'll kind of show both. Okay, so what Scurry does is he just comes over here, and he gets the attention of the first guy, and he just dies immediately. And so this is the more consistent method. And the way I base it off of is I look at the time of whenever I get out of Salubra's hut to do the shade skip, right? Because I'm going to go in there to reset the shade here in a second. And the way he does it, it'll almost always, you'll get out of her head at 42 seconds on the split, on the segment. And the way I do it, sometimes I'll get out as early as like 38, but sometimes I'll get out as slow as 44. So I kind of go for the more risky strat. It just depends. I'll explain in a second, but this is how he does it. He just dies immediately. And he does the thing where you pull up the inventory early. I don't do it. I just spam inventory right here. It's the same speed. And he puts on Shaman Stone, right? So now he has to come over and he has to get, he has to go to Sly's hut anyway. So he comes over here and he gets 3 hits on the way. And now all he has to do is get 3 hits as he runs back over to the right. So it's more consistently... Whoops. Get out of my way. And he comes... I think he actually does the shade skip without walking into Sluber's hut. He has it set up to where he can kind of, like, he can just come up here and dash underneath the shade or whatever, and then jump up, and he kind of just starts doing the, like, setting up the skip. I'm not good at doing that. So basically I'll show what he would have done if he didn't walk in, or if he did walk in. So I'll explain this in a second. And now he's up here. Okay, I'll explain the way I set it up, and then I'll explain the actual how to do it. So basically, I just bought Shaman Stone. I haven't talked to Sly yet, so I'm gonna come over here, and I'm gonna dash, and I'm gonna get hit by each of these guys once, and then I'm gonna enter Sly's hut, and then I'm gonna talk to him. He's not here, and then I'm gonna die, right? And hopefully this guy is close to the left like he was, because then you can get a quick hit. And then I'm going to die to this one. So basically, the only way this is faster is after you get... Oh, I would equip Shaman Stone if I didn't already have it. The only way this is faster is if the 2 guys, the 2 husks down there, are both over to the right, and you can kill them in 3 nail swings. I did not mean to walk into Sluber's hut. That's awkward. Whatever. If they're both over to the right, you can just get 3 nail hits quickly and kill them both. Unfortunately, they're not. See, they're spread out. Shade does not get out of my... Then I would get the 3 hits, and then I would miss that dash. Come in here, and now I'm ready to do the skip, right? But... basically, they were kind of messed up because I walked in Sluber's hut. But normally, either one's way over to the right and one's way over to the left near Sly's house, or they're both like basically right on top of each other, and you can just run over, get 3 hits, and then jump back in over here, go in Sluber's hut real fast. I use her hut to reset the shade. I know, like I said, Scurry has a way of doing it without having to walk in her hut, but it's like very minimal time loss. So okay, basically, the way I do this skip, actually, there we go. I'm gonna jump off, and I'm going to dash, and I'm going to land about in between this pole and the edge, right? And then I'm going to immediately jump. Now, the whole thing is you don't want the shade to fireball. Not only does it waste time, it also makes the setup a little wonky. Again, Scurry knows how to do it without, or like, still how to set it up if he does fireball. I haven't learned it because I'm lazy. I'm actually going to be learning it here probably today or tomorrow. But, basically, the wind, like, he has a higher chance to fireball if you're on the same horizontal line as him. The longer you're on this line, like, even with him, the more he wants to fireball. So, I jump and I stay above him until I drop, hit this, and then I jump and go above him again so that we're all on different horizontal lines. It's still possible that he'll just immediately decide he wants to fireball and just start setting up for it. But, this is the lowest chance for that I've found. So anyways, I jump off, land here, jump back up, and immediately dash over. And then I walk to right here, right past the doorway, like basically in between these signs and this doorway. And I jump 3 times. But on the 3rd jump, I'm going to jump over to the left, like almost diagonally, like straight left. And I'm going to run into him on purpose. And that's going to trigger him to start a swing at me, which means I'm going to pogo, which is going to, it's going to parry his swing. It's not going to hurt him. You can't hurt him because you need to get two pogos after, and he only survives for 2 nail hits. So it's important that you parry the first one. Then you're going to fireball to stay high enough, pogo again, fireball again, pogo, and then he'll die, and you can dash over. So I'll explain, and then I'll probably do it a couple times. See, he fireballed. Like I said, there's a setup to do it, and I'm dumb for not learning it. Now, what's important is, for some reason, when I do the third jump, if you're running into him, you're currently in the like getting hit animation, and you're already holding down, it kind of eats your down input. Like, you have to, I don't know, I mean, you can watch it when I do it. I kind of let go of any direction, and then I start holding down like really late. Because there's a lot of time where if you're just holding down throughout the whole like getting hit animation, then you hit nail, it'll just forward slash, and it's really annoying. So, I'll myself show that again. So normally I would be coming out of Salubros. Jump. I really need to learn it. I'm just lazy. And I mean, sometimes I'll do below like that, but this might actually just be screwed. Yeah, I tried to salvage it, but sometimes I don't end up dashing that high, and that one was really high. They both kind of work. Okay, that's a perfect example. I held down just a little too early, and as you can see on my controller input, I'm literally holding down when I hit nail, but it's still forward slashes. For some reason, when you like get hit by him, it like forgets which direction you're holding unless you let go of it and press it again. He's being a real pain right now. He's exposing me for not learning the setup for when he fireballs. He's gonna do it again. No, he's not. Okay. Oh, I don't have soul. That would be step one. Have soul. Okay. But yeah, I almost hit down as I'm hitting the nail. Wow, I even tried to do it late that time. It still wasn't late enough. But as you can see, that's what happens. Is you just forward slash and kind of just kills it. You have to reset. At least reset him. But it's like a 4-second loss if you have to reset like this. Go back in. It's not a really easy trick. I can get it pretty consistently, but I'm always kind of worried that he's gonna fireball. Ah. As far as I know, I'm pretty sure it's random for like how long you have to be on the same horizontal line for when he decides he wants to fireball you. Dude, holy. I think now that I'm like thinking about having to hold down late, it's like I'm messing up my own timing for it. There we go. So yeah, it's a pretty difficult trick, but it's not as hard as it kind of looks. I think it looks really cool. I'll do it one more time. I'll actually kind of show it the way it's supposed to, so... Oh, they're dead. Maybe if I leave and come back. Ugh. They back? Wow, they're not back. Fine. I'll just have to pretend I killed them. Jeez. This is definitely karma for me just not learning it. And I really, really need to. I just haven't. There you go. There's the sheet skip. Clawless. So basically you just dash across this water. I'm not going to show it because... Okay. This room is slightly different because you don't have claw, so instead of jumping up to the right and jumping off the wall, you have to do it kind of like that. This can't jump off. Dream Nail platforms are kind of the same as any %, except for the first set, because the way I do it is I dash and jump off the side of one of the platforms as they're spawning. But obviously I can't do that because the I have Mantis Claw, so it's a little bit more simple. I'm gonna speed this up. So in the run, you would dash and inventory drop off here. It saves 1 second of in-game time because your timer pauses and then the seer spawns earlier. It loses 1 second of RTA as far as I know. Okay, so I kind of only showed this once, I think. I could respawn seer, but it doesn't really matter. So basically, when the seer starts flying off is kind of your cue to jump. Not the cue for the hitbox of the platform to spawn, so if you do it too early, then you'll just go right through it. But basically, it's your, like, hey, the platforms are about to spawn. So right there, I just jump up the first 4, and then I dash. I'm probably going to miss it because I think I let go of right as I hit start. But basically, I'm trying to land as early on this platform as I can. Oh, so I get 2 dashes there, but I got the dashes late. So basically, you would 1, 2, 3, 4, and then dash, 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 and then the rest of the platforms is the same as any %. Platforms are always in the same spot, so as long as you do the same thing every time, you'll always be landing in the right spot. So here's the seer skip, or the Knight slide, or whatever you want to call it. It's I can only kind of show this once unless I'm gonna load up a save at Salubra, which I don't. So get it first try. I explained it in any % as well. So basically, right here, you're gonna spam start, and then as soon as it lets you start, right here, you're gonna either hover over continue or be spamming start. But as you close this menu, you want to be holding right, and you're gonna dash twice as fast as you can, and you can get out of this room before you actually stand up. So I'm gonna hold right, get out of the room. But instead of going all the way down like an 80%, we're gonna come over here. You're gonna hit this and bench, then get off the bench and hit this bell. And every time you open up, well, not every time, but most of the time you open up a new stag station, it has dialogue. I think it doesn't in Hidden Station or Distant Village, but there are times where, like, for example, we're going to open up King Station later, but we're not actually going to use it. We're going to save quit. So then the next time we go to a stag station, he's going to have dialogue for us because we didn't talk to him at King Station. So anyways, I have a way of remembering which stations are which in Chinese. The top one's always Dirtmouth, and the second one's always Forgotten Crossroads. Unless you didn't unlock it, which you should have earlier. This is a really dumb way, but for resting grounds, the third character on this, it, like, I don't know, it kind of looks like a Z. So like resting, like Z, like a nap. That's the only reason I remember it. I just look at that little third symbol, it looks like a Z. So that's how I remember which one's resting grounds. But we're gonna go to Forgotten Crossroads. So it's the second one. It's not as easy as 80%, whereas 80% in the entire run, every time you hit a stag station, you just go 1 down, and it's always the correct one. So, alright, now, this room is weird. I don't always get it the same, but basically the idea is you want to jump as early as possible, and then dash again. And there are 3 different outcomes that can happen. Either you're going to clear this gome, and you're going to land in the little pocket over here. Well, I'll go from best to worst. So the best is if you clear this, don't get hit by him, and you land on the little, like, there's a pocket and then a platform. If you land on that platform, that's the best. That means you can just keep going. You don't have to slow down at all. The second best, which I get most of the time, is I land in the little pocket. You kind of land in the corner, and you can just kind of like jump and keep going. It wastes super small amount of time. The worst, if you, I think it's, I've tried to test this. I've done it over and over in like slow motion, and I can't really figure out a consistent way. I just go through waves of, like, sometimes I get hit a lot, sometimes I clear it but land in the pocket. But there's a a chance. I think it's if you don't jump early enough when you're able to jump, where you jump, dash, and then you dash again, and you hit him as he comes out. I'm going to reset the room, but I'll try to show you all of them. I'm going to put on infinite health so I don't have to... Basically, I jump early. See, that's the most common. That's why I get that all the time. But there's also a chance you can get up on the little middle part in between the two golems. That's the best case scenario. That's the fastest, but I don't ever get it. Yeah, it's... I mean... It's kind of the best you could hope for. At least you didn't get hit. And you're coming up on Elder Who, which is, no matter how good you are at this game, Elder Who can just kind of be obnoxious with only 5 health and only a Fireball and Shaman Stone. Like, you don't have very many tools to deal with him, so... Yeah. I've like I said, I've tried to lab this room out, and it just kind of... I never land up there. I don't know. I know it's possible. I just don't ever get it. So you want to get a hit on each of those guys. All of these hits are going to be important. I'm going to try to get to the Elder Who's room with 8 out of... Okay. With 8 out of 9 soul. So this room's kind of weird. Coming to the left when you have dash. Basically, I'm gonna dash once, and then I'm gonna jump pretty high, and I'm gonna dash and pogo off him. And the way the timing works, you kind of have to slow down a tiny bit, because you want to pogo off him and kind of hover or just like hang out in the air for half a second, and then dash, and you're gonna pogo on the first and third golems. And I'll show you what it looks like. Kind of hard to do like after pausing. So. You can just barely get all 3. So that's the way I get across the room. You want to jump, and right there, after you jump and get the hit on him, you want to wait till you land to dash, because if you hit him and then dash immediately, you're going to have to wait all this time while you're falling to hit the ground to dash again. So I jump up, hit him once, hit the ground, then I can dash and immediately dash again. Alright, so I'll explain this room really fast, because I already did it in 80%. It's the same thing. You wait till your character is basically like fully stopped in the front of this room, and you can dash and get like hold left as you're dashing, and then jump. You can get a jump off the platform, and then right behind my character there's like a little pebble on the background art. Like just to the left of it is where I try to get to, and then I start an inventory drop, and you can drop all the way down. So again, I'm gonna go through this quickly. This room is basically just... This first dash, I try to delay it to where I would get just past this ledge, or at least like hit the very ledge, and then get off it in inventory drop. And then you have to kind of get a feel for it, but you're gonna drop for like a second, and then cancel it, dash right, and inventory drop again. If you just inventory drop straight down from here, you're gonna fall on acid. So basically, I knew that was gonna happen. Also, good thing I just remembered I have infinite health on, so I'm gonna turn that off. But there's a lot of different ways. I wish I'd stop messing this up. There's a lot of different ways to do this room. Everybody kind of does it differently. Oh my god, I cannot clear this ledge right now. And I'm too far right. Wow. Am I really gonna mess this up? I'm gonna heal. I'm still gonna show you all the places where you need to get hits, but know that I have full soul for no reason. There we go. That's what you're supposed to do. Everybody does that room a little bit differently. That's the way I do it. These guys, you want to get a hit on these two, and then that one. As you can tell, the top of those mushroom guys don't really have a hitbox. Like the whole top curve part doesn't really have a hitbox, so you can just pogo and dash straight to it. So this room, I'm going to get one hit at the very end. I'm going to dash off, dash, and then hit him once. And then you're in here. So normally I would be at 8 and 9. I'm at 9 and 9 because I had infinite soul in there. Okay, so here's Elder Who. Elder Who is obnoxious. Do I have infinite health on? Elder Who is obnoxious. He's a big RNG part of the run. In fact, in my latest PB, when I was comparing against my other record, I was even with my PB at coming into this fight, and then I left 17.5 seconds behind. And I still pulled it back because this run's long. I mean, it's not that long. It's an hour and 8 minutes for record, just over. But basically, like, this fight can just be really, really mean, or it can be pretty nice. Just depends. Basically, he has two attacks. He has the attack where he kind of stays on the screen, or in the room, and he drops, like, these square things. You'll see him. And he drops, you know, a lot of them, and you have to try to find the gaps in them to stand under. And then he does another attack where he disappears from the room, and there will be falling ones coming in, and you have to dash in between them. So basically, you want that second attack to happen as little as possible, because you can't attack him during that, and then you have to wait for him to show back up. And he always shows up about right here, like always. So, like in God Home, he doesn't. It's random left or right, I think, or he does it on the side you're farther from. But this in normal, he always spawns there. So the main thing with this boss, and a lot of bosses in this game or in this category, or just overall in Hollow Knight, is when we use the fireball, we want to try to get it to double hit. So a lot of times with this boss, you're going to be trying to, like, jump over and do that, and it'll kind of push him away from you, which will make it to where as he's getting pushed from the nail hit, and if you shoot the fireball fast enough, it'll kind of push him with the fireball, and he'll get double hit. So you want to try to land as many double hits as you can, and just maximize DPS. I'll probably show the fight a couple times. It's really obnoxious. Not a big fan of this fight. That's exactly why this fight is so annoying, because he puts 3 of those things on top of you. There's not really any avoiding it. I think with like a perfect dash, you could maybe slip into the gap, but I do that a lot. See, this would be really bad because he's going to do that move again. This would be really bad. See, this is what you don't want. This is why this boss can take so much time. I've had fights where he did that move 0 times, and I've had fights where he did it 7 times, and he just kept doing it over and over. A really obnoxious fight, the big run killer. But, I mean, like I said, I lost 17.5 seconds on my world record, and still got a really, really good time. See, there's nothing you can do about it. It's a big theme in this game where teleporting enemies and bosses are really obnoxious, because you'll dash across the room to get to them, and then they do that. Glad you're getting to see the full scope of why this boss sucks. So, I mean, I didn't get hit there, but getting hit at this boss too many times is pretty rough, especially when if you come in here. Oh, why am I hitting? If you come in here with 4 health, like if you get hit at that one golem, because you're gonna have to do the explosion pogo after this, and then you're gonna have to do mantis pogo. And getting hit by explosion pogo, if you miss it up, is 2 health. So if you have 2 health, leaving this, then 1 explosion pogo mess up, and you're dead. If you have 1 or 2 health, it's not very uncommon for runners to sometimes get hit by mantis pogo by just slightly mistiming it, and sometimes they use it to, like, not on purpose, but you can kind of recover if you get hit by mantis during mantis pogo, because you can kind of damage boost up. That's why. So that's a big thing in this game, and especially Dream Warriors, is basically, I said this in 80%, but when you nail fireball nail, basically the 2 nails can be almost, if not almost just as fast, exactly just as fast as if you just nailed. So it's almost like you could fit free fireballs in between nails if you were going to hit twice anyway with the nail. So basically, nail into fireball is like really efficient damage. But with the Dream Warriors, a lot of them will like have a chance to teleport as you hit. Like, the hit is what triggers the teleport. So if you're doing like nail into fireball, the nail could make them just teleport out of the way, and you're already kind of hitting the fireball input, and then they're just gone, and you miss, and you waste all that soul. So that happens a lot. It's kind of a risk versus reward thing. It's being really rude. Wow. I thought he was going to do it again. boss is horrible. This actually used to be one of my favorite Dream Warriors, and then I started speedrunning True Ending, and now I hate him. You gotta kind of find a way to maximize your damage and put distance in between him and you for the double fireball hits while avoiding those things. This fight wouldn't have been bad so far. And that double hit, luckily he teleported into where he hit him twice. I'll do it one more time. And then we'll just continue with the health and soul that we have when we finish him. Assuming I don't get hit like 4 times. Yeah, I already kind of hit the dash button and there was no stopping it. Wow, he's being really nice. Now, I had to say something. Oh my god, where was I supposed to go? That was weird. See, one of those hits was easily my fault, but the one in the corner, I might have been able to dash left and I would have avoided those 3, but he put like 3 right on top of me, so it can be really obnoxious when you're like hitting your dash button and then he spawns the things as you're hitting it, because then you're like basically gonna land exactly where one of them is gonna drop sometimes, and there's not much you can do because your dash hasn't like come back yet. You can't use it again, and that's assuming even a dash would get you out of that. And sometimes you're like smack in the middle and you can't walk left or right like far enough, and you'll just get hit. That fight can be really mean sometimes, and I'm actually really worried about dying to it at GDQ because I really don't want to die here. So, anyways, oh, for the Dream Warriors, okay, so there's a thing you can do with the Dream Nail. And this is really important later when you get the Dream Gate ability, where first off, he's gonna hang out here for probably like less than half a second more, because I unpaused and paused and he's been sitting there for a second, where almost exactly when he starts moving toward this spot, you want to start charging at the Dream Nail, and as soon as he pops back up, your Dream Nail will go off and you'll hit him. On top of that, when you're done with the Dream Nail, it doesn't take much practice. I think I got it like my first try, and it's not very tight timing as far as I know. You want to start a Dream Nail like as soon as you can, and then cancel it. Like just press, like hold Y, finish the Dream Nail, and then hit Y again, and then just let go. You don't like tap it, but like, you know, hold it for a half second or whatever. And I'll show you what I mean, because basically it lets, like, normally when you Dream Nail the Dream Warriors, it makes you go through the whole animation of like you absorbing the Dream Essence and you're kind of frozen in place, but the second Dream Nail lets you kind of break out of that and you can move and go to the edge of the room as that whole animation's playing, so you don't have to waste all that time. So this is it, and then you start up another Dream Nail and cancel it. Now you're supposed to be frozen in place for all this, and you can kind of wait. Now, I know Scurry waits till this actually says 100, like he knows he got the essence to leave the room. I go a little bit earlier because, as far as we know, that as long as this hits the number before the next screen loads in, you'll still get it. And my loads are actually a little bit longer than his, if not a lot longer than his sometimes. So like, it's almost like I have a tiny advantage because I can dash out of the room. I mean, it saves like a second at the very most. But I can actually leave the room a little bit ahead of him because I'll still get the essence. It's a little bit riskier because if I just happen to go a little bit too early, then I could potentially just not get the essence and then I would have to go all the way back in the room, and that would kind of kill my run. But you can feel free to wait until you get the 100 and then dash out of the room, like walk to the very edge and wait. But it's kind of just up to you. But if you're worried about an unfair advantage for me, don't worry. There's a strat I can't do in the White Palace that he can because of some computer difference that we have that doesn't let me get to the floor as fast as he does. So I actually can't make a cycle that he can. Okay, so this room is important, or it's not that important, but if you have soul already, the point is to drop off of this platform, and if they're positioned like they are right now, then you can drop off, drop to here, and I nail ones just to kind of push them away from me, and then fireball. It's going to hit both of them, you're going to get the geo from both, and then the fireball is going to act as the first hit for both of the geo rocks. If they're both over here, like one will be walking this way and be about right here, and this one will be, instead of walking this way, he'll be about right here. You can dash off and fireball and hit both, and you'll already be over here when you're done with the fireball. So it's kind of unfortunate if he's here, but it's whatever. It's not a big deal. If you don't have enough soul, which in any percent you always will at this point, but because you're coming from Elder, who is random how much soul you'll have, I can either drop off here, hit him 3 times in fireball, or if they're both over here, I can dash off, hit once, it'll hit both, and then I just have to nail one more in fireball, unless I had, 1 out of 9, 2 out of 9, then maybe I only have to nail once. But basically, you just have to get soul on both fireball and then get the geo. I'm actually gonna drop in here again because I would do that. You want to get as much of this geo as you can. It's kind of important. I missed 4 right there. You can get 43. Alright, so I'm too far to... Okay. That was... I messed that up because I was trying to pause. So, here's the explosion pogo. Again, it's the exact same thing as any percent, so not going to go too in-depth with it, but basically, there's this square block thing, and I stand directly in the middle on the ground, and I wait till the spore gets to... There's a little spot, like, you see these, like, bulbs or whatever. There's a spot right there, I think it is. I can't really see it because of my light. Oh, it's right here. It's like this bulb, or like, I don't know, 4, whatever they are. 3 circles. There's a spot in the middle, a little dark spot, and that's where I wait. As soon as the spore hits that spot, I'm gonna let this explode because it's messed up. Wow, didn't even come low enough anyway. So I like... I drop and I land right here, and as soon as the spore starts dropping, I just walk off and land right here. I like kind of hit that or whatever, and I land right here. And as soon as it's there, you want to jump up, pogo, and then move left a little bit, but then let go of left for the second pogo because you don't want to be going diagonally. You want to get height, like as much. You want to go straight up instead of diagonal. If you go diagonal, you won't get high enough. So I pogo, or jump, pogo, move left, pogo again, and get high enough, and then you can dash over. And you'll be high enough, and since the dash goes, straight across, you'll be high enough to get over. There are a lot of different ways to do this. Some people like come all the way over here, and they like go boom, boom, and they get high enough. Some people like jump up, pogo, get hit by the spore on purpose to damage boost, and then pogo again. This is just the way I do it. It just takes a lot of practice to get good at. Cannot do this on current patch. You can do the pogo on the spore, but you can't pogo the explosion. For some reason, they patched that out. But it's still possible. It's just 10 times harder, 20 times harder. But like I said, this basically the whole guide is for 1-2-2-1. So normally I want to get at least 2 out of 9 soul here, but I already have 3 out of 9, so it didn't matter. You can hit the first guy and then the second guy as you're falling, and then I go to the edge right here and I inventory drop. So I'll show you Mantis Pogo. I do 3 Mantis. There's a way to do it without aggroing the Mantis all the way over to the right. I'm not good at it, and even the way that I learned it, or like I kind of practiced it a little bit, but the way I learned it actually doesn't even really save time. It might even be slower slightly, so I'm just going to show 3 Mantis. If you want to learn 2 Mantis, you can. It's just a little bit tougher. That's Mantis Pogo. Again, full explanation and everything is in the 80% tutorial. So I don't want to spend too much time on that. So, after you get Mantis Claw, I'm going to save quit. So what's next? Okay, so we have 0. There are 2 ways. Okay, so basically this is going to be one of 2 times that you save quit back to this bench, right? And, well, save quit out. It's going to be one of 3 times you save quit to this bench, but the 3rd time you're going to be going to the right. The other 2 times you're going to be going to the left. And on one of the 2 times you go left, the first two, you want to. I do it on the first one. I think Scurry does on the second time. You want to jump over and ring that bell because you don't want to have to wait for the one time where you are going to go to the right for that bell to be rung and then have to stand there and wait for the stack. So, there are also two approaches to how you do this zero fight. I'll show you my way and I'll explain Scurry. The reason I'm bringing him and myself up so much is because we're the main two that run this category, and we have like basically the same run. It's just very slight differences here and there, and most of the differences are like either not like they're the same speed essentially, or one of them's slightly riskier, one of them's slightly safer. It just depends. We have our comfort zones, and we're the main two that have been pushing this category as far as the record. So the way I do it is I dash twice and then I jump and I get 5 hits on this thing. That's the main difference. Is the way I learned this fight is with having this much soul. Each hit of that soul statue gives you between 16 and 18. So if you're really lucky and you get all 5 of them 18, or I think if one of them's 16 and the other 4 are 18, you'll have 88 out of 100. So that essentially you'd have, like right now I have 84, but that extra 7 that's above 77 doesn't do anything for me. Like there's no point. It just, essentially I'm at 7 out of 9. Like that extra 7 doesn't matter, because once I'm at 7 out of 100 or 7 out of 99, whatever, I can't do anything with it anyway. So basically you can just think of it as like there's a chance you could be at 8 out of 9, but I always just think of myself as 7 out of 9 at this point. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to get 2 hits from the nail at the start of the fight anyway. So Scurry does this fight without getting that soul, and he has a better gold in this split, but he also doesn't ring the bell in this split like I do. So we're not really 100% sure which one is like, maybe one of them is optimally faster, but you have to get better RNG, or maybe one of them is just always faster. But this is just the way I learned the fight, is having soul. He learned it by starting the fight with 0 soul, so it's just up to you. But I'll show you how I do the fight. Basically, it's over pretty quickly every time. So I get 2 hits, 1 up, and then 1 forward, and I fireball twice. And then nail, and I get to the left side and nail, then I dash over, nail once, get to the other side and nail, and then fireball and he dies. Pretty simple fight. I'll show it again. Basically, the beginning part is like, it's not consistent of how many times he will I'll try to put myself somewhere around. Oh, that's perfect. The beginning part, like, he doesn't always get pushed the same distance because the fireball doesn't always hit the same amount. Maybe if you like tasked it, it would always hit the exact same amount, but I, like, obviously I'm not perfect, so sometimes it'll be slightly off. So sometimes he goes really far like he did, and it's hard to get to the left side of him. You don't want to upslash him because he'll get pushed. The first one I upslash because he doesn't move when he's still like kind of spawning or whatever, introducing himself, I guess. But so I upslash there, but otherwise you don't want to because he's going to be really high. It's going to be really hard to reach him. So I upslash once and then I just do strictly lefts and rights, kind of push him. So I'm going to do up, forward, and then 2 fireballs. He's really far left. Also, the delay on how long his next attack is, like, isn't always the same. So right there, he was basically farther left than he was the first time, but the first time he stopped to do an attack, like right here, and I couldn't really get around and then hit right and fireball. So I kind of jumped into him and then did the hit and fireball, which is not a big deal, but right there he kept going because he wasn't ready to do an attack yet, so it kind of worked out for me. I was able to get to the left side of him pretty easily. So I'm going to dash over, and then I'm going to hit once from the left, hit once from the right, and then fireball. Ooh. And it didn't triple hit, and that's what happened. If you kind of mess it up, like right there, that last fireball didn't triple hit, it didn't push him far enough, which means, and then I messed up by less. That works actually, so that makes sense. Again, he did the move really early, so. Ooh. knew he was 2 hits away. Not that fight, but the one before it, I messed up because when he didn't die, I just upslashed, which is bad because he got pushed really high up. So then I ended up like kind of chasing after him and dashing into him, which wastes time, obviously. That's how the fight's supposed to look. Alright, so again, I'm going to do the thing where I Dream Nail and then Dream Nail again to kind of animation cancel. And again, I'm going to leave this room just a tiny bit before I know it's going to give me the essence because it'll give it to me during the... You want to try... this is way too early. He's not even going to be there yet, but I kind of messed up my timing by pausing. But it kind of adds up over the run if you can consistently get the Dream Nail to, like, get the actual swing to happen, like, the instant they spawn. Because he's going to float back down and then spawn, or show up, whatever. And if you can hit that instantly, it, you know, saves a tiny bit of time every time if you can get it pretty consistently. Like I said, I messed it up here, so this swing's going to go off. But then you would have to do it again, and all that time is wasted. Whoops. So then, during the loading screen, it gave me the 200. If you just had, like, lightning fast loads, obviously, maybe just stand there and wait. But my loads are not great, so. Alright, so I'll try to show the gate storage here. Gate storage is allowed in no major glitches, basically, because it's so minimal, it wastes, like, or it saves just almost no time, especially for small ones like this. This is nothing, this is kind of just for fun, and maybe saves a 0.1, 0.2 seconds, you move kind of fast. But basically, you dash at a wall or a door that's going to go up or down, or like disappear or whatever, a gate that's going to open. And the game kind of gets confused and lets you, like, keep moving that direction, but your character kind of looks like he's up against an invisible wall as he's floating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dash at this gate as it's opening, and it kind of is going to let me fly over. It's only important at in the White Palace, because there's a part where if you do it right, it probably saves like a second or two over getting out of that room the normal way, but you're right there. That was actually kind of slow too. Alright, so here I get 2 hits on these guys, and then I come down, I kill this guy just for extra geo, and I missed 5 right there, but it's not a big deal. He drops 12. The point of this room is to get to 300 geo and get this journal that's on this floor behind these guys without wasting as much time, you know, without wasting time, essentially. If you watched my 80% tutorial, you know at the bottom of this room I hate killing the guys on the bottom floor, and that's because they can randomly be up against the glass, which is really, really inconvenient, and I don't like dealing with that. And in 80% I found a way to not have to get that geo and get that geo elsewhere, but here, like, this 300 I need right now. I need it as I leave this room, so I can't actually, there's no other way to do this unless I found a way to get geo before I got here, but it's not really, nothing's fast enough. That bottom floor drops like 50 geo, 40, I don't know, good amount. So I kind of have to get it, but I'll show you when I get down. You want to fireball twice right there, but you have to get over to the right before you fireball, because then the other husk won't show, the sentry husk won't actually show up until you get to the right. So you got to get over the big guy, and if he dashes or jumps, you can get over him without getting hit either way. It's just a little bit tighter if he jumps. So pick up all that geo, and then you have to kind of react to where these guys are. That big guy can either take 2 nail hits and a fireball, or if you just fireball, sometimes he'll get pushed backwards with it and die because the fireball double hit. Doesn't always happen, but right there it did. And I want the geo from him, even though I'm already over 300. This is the only tight part of the run as far as geo goes. You can be very, very, very liberal with how much geo you grab later. You open up this, and then you jump up here. Whoops. And then you want to immediately quit out. So here comes, this is the, I guess, errand running portion of the run. This is the part that most people, I guess, kind of complain about, that it's not very interesting or fun or whatever. Basically, you're going to be grabbing that journal that we just grabbed, and then the Hollowness seal above that king station after we open up the station. And then now we're gonna grab 3 different relics, or 2 different. I'm sorry, 2 more relics, and then go kill Gorgeous Husk, and then go see Lamb and sell all those relics. So you want to talk to her, get the seal from her, and then because you have 200, 100 from Elder Who and 100 from Zero, she's gonna open up the Glade, which is important because there's a King's Idol inside. So we're gonna go get that. This is probably the most boring part of the run, because you're kind of going and collecting relics for Geo, but we need that Geo, so. I guess I'll talk about it. I never do it, I'm never going to. But basically, this Revek is her name. She doesn't like when you attack the other ghosts. So there's a strat in which you like get her to aggro you, and then you get to here and you like jump and like damage boost and then pogo, and you kind of get like high enough to jump up to here. This is your goal. But I don't do it. She does 2 damage per hit, and it's really obnoxious, and I'm never doing it. So I thought I'd bring it up, but I'm not going to demonstrate it because I don't even do it. And I'm not even practiced. I've done it 1 time. Oh, I'll explain this real fast just because, I mean, I've lost runs to it. I watched Scurry lose a run to it once. It's kind of annoying. So when you dash up here, you kind of have room, if you do this perfectly, to get all, like, just dashes while holding right. But if you're a little bit, I'll show, like, if you're a little bit too high like this, then you can't get a jump. So like if you do this perfectly like this, oh no, this one might not actually be, oh no, I got it. So basically if you don't land early enough up there, then you won't get that jump essentially. And so I don't really even risk it. I just do this where I jump up, and then I dash 3 times, and I just stop for that duration of the dash cooldown. I just don't hold right, and that basically will just mean that whenever I do dash, I'll still have room to jump. You just dash over here, grab this, and then you're gonna save quit again. Like I said, this is gonna be the second to last relic. This is a lot of, I guess, running errands, if you want to call it that, some people complain about. It's admittedly all the way from killing Zero to buying the lantern. It's probably the most boring part of the run, but now you're gonna talk to him, and then he has dialogue because you opened up King Station. So don't ask me why, but when I said that this is resting ground because of the Z, I don't know why my brain does this, but basically the box on the left, the square, I always just look for that. That's King Station. I don't know. Maybe I thought the box, maybe it's like a symbol for king. I have no idea, but that's just what I think of. That's how I remember. It's the only one that has the little like square looking box, and that's the one that's King Station. But I'm on a dirt myth right now. It's just dumb things to help me remember. I knew I'd remember that. So dash up, open up the front door, and then you have to remember to dash over to the left and binge here. And then I jump in between the dashes because you have to walk in Dirtmouth, and you want to drop down here. And then I destroy the sign for Minderbug luck later. I jump 4 times on the wall and then dash over. The camera doesn't really follow you until you like get up high enough, so I always just know it's 4 jumps and then a dash. Kind of a delayed dash though. Gonna come back down here, and you're gonna go to King Station. Might seem like a bit of like a roundabout way, but basically you need Zero to be killed, and that's kind of on the way to King Station. Then that guy could either be over to the right or over to the left. Again, I kind of explained this in any percent, but I'll quickly go over it. I want to get a nail hit on him, but if he's over to the right like this, I basically do this, and then I press right really fast to jump off that wall. That's basically that's the only 2 positions he'll be in. Kind of glossing over some stuff I already went over in any percent. That big guy, again, either takes 1 fireball or 2 nail hits at a fireball. I guess to quickly run over it real fast, your nail does 5 damage. Your fireball normally does 15, but when you have Shaman Stone on, it does 20 and makes the hitbox bigger. Then when you get Shade Soul later, it does 30 normally, except for with Shaman Stone, it does 40. So a double hit from a Shade Soul with Shaman Stone will do 80, and a triple will do 120, obviously. But like I said, that big guy has 30 health, so you got to do a fireball, hope it double hits. If not, then you just nail twice. So this is Golden Husk. Again, I went over this in 80%, but I'll quickly go over it. Basically, the point is to get a forward nail, upward nail, back, like turn around nail once, and then don't hold toward him as you're doing the third nail, and then you fireball him. And that's important because you're going to be pushing him away from you with the nail hit, and then you fireball and you have to have a certain distance away from him to make the fireball double hit. It's kind of weird, but like the longer that you are away from them, the better chance you have of it pushing them along and doing a double hit. So that's the main thing, is you want to make sure that you don't hold toward him after the third nail hit. If he's right here, kind of like in the middle or to the left of the middle or whatever, then I just go ahead and do the 3 nails and then turn around and fireball once, and it'll push him toward this wall, and it's only going to hit him once, and then I just continue from there knowing that I'm 1 fireball hit away, if that makes sense. Like this. And then I start up the rotation. And then you're 4 hits away. If he's over to the right, you can just do the 3 nail hits into 1 fireball double hit 4 times, and he'll die. Okay. Now, instead of going across to the left, that lever doesn't matter in this category. You're going to ride this up, and you're going to do statue pogo. You can also do the backup statue pogo if you missed that, which, of course, I'm not showing it again. And then okay, so basically that wasn't the most like clean. I mean, it was clean because I didn't get hit, but basically you want to like, where the hell? You want to get like into that corner right here or whatever, and you want to up slash. Can you? You want to get into this corner and up slash, and then jump off the wall, dash over here, and then jump like in between them to get to here. Sometimes if the guy throws the higher one throws a spear at you, it kind of throws off the positioning, but as you just saw right there, you can kind of wait like a half a second and jump between them again, and he'll turn around. You just don't want him facing left, because then sometimes he'll come into this dark room with you, and that's a disaster, especially when you're trying to set up how to get through this dark room. But I'll explain quickly again how to go through this dark room on True End, because it's the same as 80%. Basically, as soon as my character gets like into the darkness, I dash, and whoops, there is a pit right here, like a gap, right? It's about right here. So I dash, and then I hit this wall, and I jump and dash over. And as soon as I'm done with that dash, I immediately jump full jump. And as soon as I hear myself land, like, you want to full jump while holding right. As soon as I hear myself land, I let go of right and just jump straight up. So basically, it'll go, okay, well, I missed, it'll be this. And you can see my inputs. I guess I can show what it looks like if I come in here the right way. Where am I? Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. I mean, you shouldn't be coming here the right way, but let me show you what it looks like with it lit up, essentially. So, basically, it goes dark about right here, and I do this. Wow, that actually, it's weird when I can see what I'm doing. The gap's, like, slightly bigger than I remember. But yeah, it goes like this. There's also a backup strat that I'll show you. That, let's say, you know, I'll try to like mess it up. Oops, that's too big of a mess up. Then I like mess up, right? So like, let's say I ended up I think I'm up there and I'm down here. Basically just dash all the way over the right. Wow, I just realized you kind of hit the side of the thing right there. I haven't done this with actually looking at it lit up in so long. But you go all the way to the wall, and I just jump and hold left at the same time. And then once you land, just jump straight up and you'll make it in. I didn't realize how tight that was until just now, but I don't see this room lit up very often, so. But yeah, that's basically the way I do it, is I just do this, and then I jump. I've heard people do this as well, where they, wow, you have to do that really deep in. Wow. I've heard people say that they don't even jump, they just dash, but maybe jump, 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 jump. Or jump, dash, dash, and then jump, jump. I guess that works too. It's slightly faster. I actually might end up doing that. So once you get here, you jump, jump. Okay, maybe I'll start doing that. Anyways. So, you're just gonna go left. Avoiding all of them. This room is just dash across, but it also has a gate storage right here, so I'll try to show it. If I mess it up, I can't show it again. So, same thing. As you kind of have to get used to the timing of the door, but as it's opening, you want to be like pretty high, and you want to dash and hold left, and it'll. Did you hold left? Now I'm overthinking it, but we'll do it. Okay, you can hold left as you're like flying through the air, but you don't want to dash until you hit the ground, because if you're holding left but you dash, the game thinks you're on a wall, so you'll dash right. I guess you could also. Wow, tried to do it right there, it didn't work. No, I've never had that happen. Alright, so you're gonna come up here and you're gonna sell all your relics. I'm gonna speed up. You're just gonna basically spam your way through all this text. And after you're done, spam, do that text, and then you want to save quit. Now we're officially finally done, and we can get back to fun stuff, I guess. Alright, so that was Ludify Lantern. I'm gonna kind of scroll down here so I can. So that was, well, you're still technically in the Lantern split until you come over here and buy Lantern from Sly, but. If you accidentally click on this, just know that like once you press back and you get back to this menu, it takes an extremely long time. Like here, look how like that's so long, and you might accidentally end up like let's say you're like, oh no, and then you press down and then you press X really fast. Unfortunately, it's letting me right now. You could accidentally end up clicking on it again. It like takes see like it just takes forever. So if you accidentally click on that, actually like wait for it to let you go down. So dash 3 times and press up. Let's come here. And you want to get to this bell and ring it. Jump around for seconds. And on the Forgotten Crossroads. So now we're going to go do Crystal Heart. Now, again, I'm not going to go into an insanely large detail, or a lot of detail in this section other than one room, because it's the exact same thing as the 80% Crystal Heart. Besides, this room isn't infected yet because we don't have Crystal Heart. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Oh, because we haven't killed Lurian. I'm dumb. The Crossroads gets infected by killing one of the Dreamers or getting, I think it's either killing Broken Vessel or getting the wings. I mean, obviously when you kill Broken Vessel then you get wings, but I don't remember which one is the exact trigger. But anyways, this room is not infected, so it's a lot easier to get through. Pretty simple. Oh my, it's pretty simple until you miss the jump. I'm gonna heal just because. Alright. And ideally, you would probably, I mean, you would have 0 soul. So right here, we're gonna do a scurry look down, which actually this is the first time you have to look down in this route. Wow. I just realized. So basically, there's a thing with tolls. I'll go over this quickly. Also, I've said that 7,000 times in this tutorial so far. But when you buy like activate a toll like this, or when you pay for a stag station, if you use the right stick to look down, I mean you can use the left stick too, but it's I know Scurry does. Maybe he does it with the directional pad, but whatever. I just use the right stick. You kind of have to get the timing right, but basically when you pay for the toll, normally what happens is the toll goes down and then the gate kind of shakes and then it goes down. And I figured out a long time ago that if you heal after paying the toll, because I was bad and got hit too many times in the room before, then the toll and the gate actually go down at the same time. And then Babai and Scurry found out that instead of healing, if you look down for some reason, you just look down with the camera, the gate actually goes down before the toll, so it's even faster. Say like 3 seconds or so. Now the gate goes down way faster. Don't know why that is, but it works for stag stations as well and make the bell appear quicker. So I just dash, jump over. You kind of let yourself ride that for a second, but you want to jump off of that one as fast as possible. This guy can either be to the left or right. If he's to the right, that's good. If he's to the left, you have to go over to the right. It's random. Now, this guy I normally fireball twice in any percent, but obviously I have no soul. We saved quit recently, and there's not enough time to get 6 hits without losing much time, so you kind of have to damage boost through them. Alright, now you want to dash, immediately jump off this wall, go up, poke that. Now, I hate that I just hit the wall with my nail, that might mess up the timing, but basically you have to get up to this, and then this guy can either be shooting his laser or not. You trigger the cycle somewhere down here, so it's kind of based off your movements. I'm pretty sure it's consistent if you always do the same thing. Not 100% sure on that, but as far as I know, that's the way it works. But so you want to get to here and jump, and you have to wait till this guy's, well, you don't have to because, okay, so basically right about here, it's somewhere in this little ball. It's like right here or so, like the tip of the cursor. For some reason, it like doesn't have a hitbox. It's like the gap between this guy and the actual laser. The laser doesn't start here. It starts somewhere around right here. You can actually jump in between them and not get hit. So if you were super sick, I actually don't know if it's possible horizontally. I know it's possible vertically, but with this guy, he's shooting his laser upwards, so maybe it doesn't work. I've never seen anybody do it. I don't know if it's possible. But anyways, I jump up here, wait for him to stop shooting his laser, and then I dash over him, and I hit this wall barely, and I dash off it to land here and jump up. And then there's going to be 2 of these guys up here, and ideally there should be one on the left, and that's where this thing is going to come into play. You can try to jump in between him and the laser and get what's known as God Pixel, or you can get there before he even shoots the laser at all, and that's called God Cycle. I don't care what anybody says, those are the names. But basically you can try to jump in between them and get God Cycle for a little bit of time saved. If you get hit, it's not that big of a deal. You don't lose that much time. I felt like, you know what? I'll fix it. It's fine. What do I have on? Okay. Try to show you what it looks like if I can get it. Oh, don't bonk your head on that. There's a very real chance that I would actually consider, like, starting the room over if I messed up that badly that early. I'll give it one more try. It's kind of, it's pretty precise, where you have to jump to get in between him and the laser. I don't get it that often. Here, we'll try. I think that wouldn't have been active anyway. Kind of hard. Wow, really? You're just gonna fall that hard off? Alright, he's gonna do it, I think. No! Come on, shoot the laser right here. Oh my god, they're so off cycle. I don't care anymore. Also, I could have tried right there, but whatever. It's not that big a deal if you don't get it. It's right here. Alright, so, oh wait. This room is the one that's different from True Ending and 90%, right? Because you have to grab the key up here. Now, by this point, I've normally gotten hit once on purpose by the guy you damage boost through, and then normally I'll go for the God Pixel right here, or God Cycle if you're fast enough. And so I'll have either 3 or 4 health, and it's important because to do this, and then you have to get in between him like that to come up here, and then sometimes you can make it before that guy comes around that corner, or sometimes he's not even shooting his laser. I've never fully been able to figure out how to get to that before him. Just sometimes I get it, and if I'm at a high enough health, basically if I'm at 2 or 3, I'll just jump anyway and damage boost through it. Otherwise I'll wait if I'm too low. But yeah, you have to grab the shopkeeper's key, and then you dash across right here. I'm just gonna do that. So that's the only part in this whole split that's different from the 80% route. Oh, besides the crossroads not being infected, but that's not a big deal. So this is the same. I'll show it, but I don't know why I jumped right there. Ooh, that's not good. Okay. I think it's from jumping in the beginning, or I just didn't slow down enough. Do I have infinite HP on? I should, obviously. Okay. I'll show it with the damage boost, and I'll show it without the damage boost. So this is with the damage boost. Which is actually the faster way. Damage boost through that, and it helps you get to this cycle. But if you're at 1 health like I am, that's called under the platform, by the way. You don't have to do that, but it's kind of a, it's like not even really faster. I'll show you what it looks like if you don't damage boost. It's slightly slower. As far as I know, it's been timed and it's slower, but sometimes I have 1 health and I have to go for it. And I'll show not under the platform, just show what it looks like because I did it the first time. But basically, the only difference... Oh, okay. It ate my jump. The only difference between the damage boost and not damage boost is what you do on the vertical, like, escalator things. I jump once and then ride it up and do that, and these things move out of the way like right as you get to them, and all of this is all the same. Like it's on the same cycle as it was before. It's just you didn't have to get hit to get it there. This is over the platform. It's the same speed as far as I know, or maybe under the platform saves like 0.1 seconds. I don't know. It's safer. I've seen plenty of people lose runs to under the platform. So now we're gonna go to Shade Soul. Whoops. So you're gonna hop up here, come in here, and you're gonna go 2 spots down for the elegant key. Close as fast as you can. And then again, dash 3 times and press up. Then you're gonna go to King Station, which again is the little box. When you close this, as soon as you hear the rain, you can actually start your Crystal Dash. I do this room slightly different from Scurry. I just stop and actually get this hit on this guy. Oh, I don't know why I started that. Scurry like dashes all the way under and then like goes that zigzags up. But basically, crystal dash over this whole room, and then I guess I'll show one thing real quick. Basically, at the start of that room, you just dash once and then jump on the wall and immediately start crystal dashing. But one thing is you don't want to go too far to the left here because there's a ledge right here for some reason. I don't know why, but basically you just stop it like a little early and then dash in. It's kind of weird. I've landed on that ledge a couple times. So do this. Now my goal is to get 3 hits of soul here for later. I get one on that guy and then one on here. And your health doesn't matter yet. I also cancel my C dash here so I can immediately jump and dash onto the bench. Like, I do that a couple times throughout the run where I want the C dash, but I also don't want to be C dashing, crystal dashing, super dashing, whatever. I don't want to be C dashing when I'm entering the next room. So basically, I like stop it as it transitions, and you can just do. Basically, I don't want to waste all the time of crashing into this and having to jump up or whatever. So then you crystal dash out, and you're gonna do the dark room again. It's not gonna be dark, obviously, because I showed it. You want to be facing right, and you want to immediately jump on this wall, and basically about even with this, or maybe it's like from here to here, which like where your eye is, from this line to like around here or so. It's basically the gap, because you have to be low enough to not hit, like there's like the ceiling kind of comes down very slightly at some point. I can't really see it right now, but at some point it goes down a little bit. And then also the big guy with the shield, you have to get over his shield. So it's not that tight of a window, but basically you just have to get over him like that. Oops. I knew it was gonna happen. Got my way. So just dash all the way across here. Then I sort of crystal dash as it's going back up. Now, this guy, he takes 2 fireball hits, or a fireball hit and 3 nail hits. So, as is with a lot of enemies, especially flying enemies, you want to wait until they're moving away from you to shoot the fireball, so that it'll double hit. Now, this is kind of it's kind of bittersweet if you get it, because normally I'll have 3 to 4 hits depending on if I hit one right before the C dash in that one room where I got hit and killed him, but I wouldn't do that in a real run, obviously. But it's kind of bittersweet if you do get the double hit, because then you're going into the Soul Warrior fight upstairs with no soul, which is not that big of a deal, but it's just kind of like, yeah, you save the time here, but you're gonna have to gain more soul later. So it's but the good thing about double hitting this guy is if you have to get the 3 nail hits after the fireball, then it's really obnoxious, because chasing him around the room can be horrible. He can just be a real asshole and just keep teleporting away. So basically, yeah, I do this, jump up and go over this thing, and I got the double hit. He can spawn in a couple different spots. That one wasn't the most ideal, but like I said, you just kind of have to keep, like, you just kind of have to have an eye for when he's moving away from you, and that's whenever you fireball. So this fight is all about, I mean, this is going to be a very, very, very common theme throughout this whole run, but this guy is all about getting double hits. And again, when you hit him with the nail and you're far enough away, a lot of times, like, either one or both of those factors will result in a double hit. So when he's far away from you, and unless he's walking toward you, that can kind of mess it up, because he like pushes through it kind of and he won't get double hit. But a lot of times when you're not close to him, he'll be kind of backing up a little bit, and you can fireball and it'll double hit. But the way I fight, the way I start this fight's always the same. I'm going to do 3 dashes, then I'm going to jump up and hit him in the air, and then hit him on the ground. And I have 1 nail hit, so I can immediately do a fireball and it might double hit. If you don't, you can kind of dash at him, get a nail hit before he teleports away. And when he spawns up top, you want to kind of get around him, hit, and then fireball. And that's what I just did. The ghost is in my way. So I kind of left a gap in between me and him instead of immediately trying to get closer to him, because I wanted the double hit from the fireball, and I know he's probably going to teleport right after anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. So I was like, I'm trying to get close enough just for the nail hit, but then I want to kind of put distance in between us. And basically you just have to kind of find your rhythm. This guy he can be kind of a pain, but it's really just all about the rhythm of the fight. It's you have to know like all the scenarios of like, oh, he teleported really far away from me and he's doing the thing where he shoots the orb, or he teleported really far away from me and he's doing the charge, or he teleported really far away from me, he's not doing anything, he's just standing there, or he teleported up top, and which is the best move in my opinion because it gets the 2 nail hits. Anyways, there's a thing you can do here where if there's still a ghost alive, then you can kind of lure him up here. Whoops. I've never done it. I don't really know how to do it. I get the basic idea. You want to lure the ghost up here. But basically, when you press yes on this thing, the ghost will hit you during this animation, and you can quit out early. I think you can quit out like right there, like right as you get the thing. But you're already able to move, so you could quit right here, which saves a little bit of time on the next split. But I didn't have a ghost, so I can't really show you. And like I said, I've never done it anyway. So okay, so here's Watcher Knights. Can I select the right one? This fight is much easier on True Ending, especially, I mean, all because we have Shade Soul. They die way quicker, especially if you get like a triple hit with Shade Soul, that's 120 damage, they just get melted. So if you're any kind of like, I guess, familiar with the any %, oh, I get 3 hits on this guy, by the way, I'll explain that in a second. If you're any familiar with the any % Watcher Knight fight, then this is a cakewalk for you because it's 10 times easier. Okay, so for that fireball, in any %, you want to wedge yourself into the corner and then shoot the fireball. But for some reason with Shade Soul, that actually doesn't work. You want to kind of like if here is the corner, well, yeah, if there's the corner for like the any % with just Vengeful Spirit, with Shade Soul, you want to be like right there or right here, like a little bit lower and farther from the wall. I don't know why, but it just makes it to where, for some reason with Shade Soul, like, you want to be here instead of shoving yourself into the corner before you shoot it. For some reason, Shade Soul just won't hit it if you're way up in the corner. So you break this. Okay, I'm going to give myself Dream Gate so I can do this fight multiple times, although I probably won't have to show it very much because, like I said, with Shade Soul, it's way easier. So, in True Ending, I do stop here for Soul, because I think it's worth it. And you get full Soul off him. Bad pattern, but you're already dead. They die extremely quickly. The bounce is basically the worst thing he can do because you can't get nail hits, and you're only gonna hit him once with the. I thought he'd die. Oh, he was 1 nail hit away. I like double hit both of them as they were rolling, so it just basically did almost their whole health bar. And that's that's the whole fight. Like I said, it's 1,000 times easier with Shade Soul. I'll show it again, just once. It's not that much to talk about. Oh, whoops. Basically, I would dash in, we Dream Nail these two. What? Okay, my jump didn't come out. This is really bad because I don't have any soul. Oh, he's 1 nail hit, of course he is. You can be pretty liberal with your health, because I've never died in this fight. Of course, I have a lot of... I've never died in this fight with Shade Soul, but I have a lot of... I mean, it's happened. I've seen it happen to other runners, so, like, if you're confident that you won't die, you can damage tank. If not, you can just waste a little bit of time avoiding the damage, but this is the very end of the fight, and I had 4 health, so I'm not going to waste the time running away. You get your health refilled here anyway. And you're going to bench soon, so... Speed this up. But I don't know how that happened. Okay. So you're gonna dash out. This is gonna be similar to any percent. Kind of have to get a feel for that timing right there. I still mess it up every once in a while. A hard fall right there on accident. But the main difference here is you don't actually need that much of this Geo. Like, I'm going to get 605, that's more than enough. Then you want to Crystal Dash out. You don't need the Relic up there. And then Crystal Dash over here. You can Crystal Dash here if you want. I'm not sure which one's faster. It's probably about the same. And normally it's dark in here, but I do this. Oops. Then try to Crystal Dash here. Now, this next room is just all about... It's all about memorization, but it's actually fairly easy. It took me like 2 times of doing it to really learn it. Basically, it's just left, right, like that's, and then like left to leave the room. That's it. So I go in here, I dash once, and I just hit him for a little bit of soul. You go left, you go right, you go a little bit left, you go right, dash out. Pretty easy. Right here, there's these 3 flying guys in this room, and if they're high enough, like if you get lucky and they're all high enough, then basically when you're crystal dashing, you can hit them once, and if they're like, okay, let's say this is you and this is them, if you hit them once and before you would hit them again, they actually kind of get pushed out of the way, then you'll keep going with the crystal dash. But if they're here and you hit them, then it's going to hit them again, and then it stops your crystal dash. So basically you can get lucky and get past all 3 without getting hit and without stopping your crystal dash, but sometimes you'll get stopped on the first one. That was good. No. It's not really a big deal. You're going to bench right after this anyway. You're going to come up here. Then you're going to dash twice. Now, I do this room a certain way that I think me and Scurry's methods are about the same. Whenever I timed them, they were like 0.3 off, and mine was slightly faster, but it's not really that big a deal. I just like to get the 2 hits from these guys. So I do this, I hit him once, barely touch that ledge, then turn around, hit him, barely grab that ledge, and then I'll go and dash over. Pretty simple. But after the first guy, you want to up slash and then barely touch the wall to the left just to get your dash back. Right here, instead of looking down, if you actually dash out of the room and then dash back in, it's actually faster. And you crystal dash across. I've canceled my crystal dash once in a run, and it was really annoying. Then come here, inventory drop down, don't cancel it early in hardfall. Alright, so I'm probably going to go back up because I want this room to be on the... It feels like it's on a cycle. I don't know really, but basically I'm going to dash over, fall down, up slash this guy once, hit the ground, and then dash over. And for some reason when I do that, I can normally get past these. These Molochs are kind of random. As far I've been told the first one's not random, but I don't know that for sure. But basically, you're going to get hit by one of these Molochs every time, 100%. Like, I guess you could avoid it, but I think it's slower to avoid it, so you just want to damage tank through it. Just the way that his first spit comes out, it always hits us. But all the other ones, you can technically get past all of them without getting hit once, but it requires a little bit of luck. So basically, I would drop in here, dash. I missed the up slash, so I'm probably gonna get hit. Yep, exactly. So, oh well. Here, I try to start this crystal dash as early on the platform as I can. This is the one you're gonna get hit by. I dash. Okay, now this one is actually kind of weird because basically he has like 3 different patterns that he can shoot his first 1 or 2 spits. And if you start your crystal dash, like basically I wasn't far enough on the ledge, but like let's say this is the ledge, right? Actually, oh, that's even better. Let's say this is the ledge, like this right here. If you're like literally on the ledge, like 1 foot is like off of it basically when you start your crystal dash, no matter what pattern he does, he'll always miss. If you're tiny bit back and he does one of the 3 that's the worst one, it'll hit you. And that right there, I think he gave me the really good one, the one that will never hit me basically. But basically if you start your crystal dash on the very, very edge of that ledge, I've never been hit by it when I do it that way, so I'm pretty sure it works. So you can get past him, and this guy you kind of have to avoid. Fortunate. If I had 2 health here, I would heal, because I don't want to go into this. So, and you can get past him sometimes without getting hit. Okay, so this is the Broken Vessels skip. It's not that important. As far as I know, the highest I've heard that it saves is 7 seconds. Maybe 8, I don't remember. I've heard as low as 4, and I've heard as high as 7. I'm not 100% sure. But basically, the point is to get up here rather than going all the way around like this. So, I mean, that wasn't even that long, but kind of see how this would maybe save time. So basically, the way I do it is I mess it up like that. I'll try to put this in slow motion, kind of explain. So basically, I'm aiming for like right here. So like, if this is the outer ring of this circle thing, I'm aiming for like basically the line that separates the big outer ring from the middle one, or from the second one. And that's how I do it. Wait, why is time not slowing down? I jumped early. Okay, so basically, I jump, dash, jump, and then wait for right whenever I'm about to start going down just a little bit from the height of my jump, and that's when I basically hold left or hold right, and right as you jump, I switch to holding left. If that makes sense. For some reason, there's a thing about these sloped walls in this game that if you kind of like dash toward one and like hold toward the wall and then switch directions right as you hit the jump button, it like lets you jump off. Oh, I did it too fast, I guess, but oops, it's kind of hard to do in slow motion. Okay, I'm gonna put it back to normal so I can show it, because I'm not 100% consistent with the skip. It's kind of difficult. There we go. So that's the only way I've learned how to do it, is if kind of like right left really fast. It might be harder on D-pad to go right left that quickly. I know people can do it, I can't. I'm not very good at D-pad. So that's how you do it. Otherwise you just go around to the left. So basically to start this, I always heal once. Well, I always heal to get the 4 health basically. And then you want to kill these guys so that they don't have to walk all the way to him. It saves a little bit of time. And then I fireball to start the fight and try to be really far to the right so I can dash twice and get to him. Again, this fight is all about being far enough to double hit with fireballs. Unless you're doing it like that, where you're like nail, fireball, nail, just to do more damage. There you go. Broken Vessel is not really that big of a deal. I can't respawn him. It's one of the few bosses in the game. This and Trader Lord that I'm only going to be able to show once. But basically, instead of going to get Broken Vessel or the wings, we're actually going to dash out and dash back in and immediately do boss Ken, because we're gonna quit from the wings back to the bench. Alright, so this is Lost Kin. This is my favorite fight in the run. It's probably the main reason I run this category, because I love this fight. It's a lot of fun. It's basically just Broken Vessel, but honestly, once you get good enough at Lost Kin, Broken Vessel starts to feel harder just because he's slow. And you start, like, when he charges up his, like, dash move, you're, like, expecting Lost Kin speed, and you, like, jump and like, slash downwards, you're like, oh, I'm gonna pogo off him, and then he's still just sitting there charging his dash, and you're like, oh, I just fell into him because he's so slow, it's just hard. So, the way I do this fight is this is the most, like, well, this and Failed Champion are the most, like, rhythm-based fights. And what I mean by that is once I kind of get into a certain rhythm with the boss, it just starts to feel easy. It starts to feel like a dance, essentially, where you just kind of go through the motions and, like, you kind of just play off feel. So this is going to be a fight, this and Failed Champion are going to be a fight where it's not really, it's either not possible or it's really difficult for me to explain why and how I do things. But it's just, once you kind of get used to the boss, you start kind of understanding, like, okay, I'm this distance from him, I just did this, so he's going to do this next, and you're, like, 90% of the time you're right. Every once in a while you'll kind of be a little off from where you think, but with Failed Champion that's really important because, like, a lot of people are scared of that boss or don't like that boss for this category, because you have 5 health and he does 2 damage with his mace or his body, but it starts to feel like you already know what he's going to do before he does it. And you can be a little off sometimes, and the falling rocks on Failed Champion do suck, but other than that, I think the fight's a lot of fun. So I'll try to explain as much as I can on this fight, but it's really just a practice and get good at fight. Whoops. I've kind of fallen off my rhythm right now. I didn't think he was going to short hop like. And that's what happens when you suck. I'm not very warmed up with this fight right now. This is the fight I normally. This and Radiance are the ones that I practice the most. Well, I practice this one because I enjoy practicing it, but I practice Hornet 2 a lot because I don't enjoy that fight. You'll see why later. But again, you want to be far from him to make it double hit. Oops, I thought he was going to charge for some reason. Alright. So, as you can see, if I get him kind of staggered in the corner, I'm going to do it again, but just before I forget or while it's still fresh. If I get him staggered in the corner, and I have enough soul to do it, basically my rotation is always kind of similar, where it's a nail, fireball, nail, and then I kind of preemptively jump, right? But if I jump too much or too far toward him, I guess, and he does the jump up and charge like a dash thing, then those are the times where I end up accidentally dashing into him. The first fight and that fight, you kind of saw both, where I was expecting him to do the full jump where he's gonna, like, slam down. That's the one I want, because that's the one where, like, that's the one where I'm expecting that high, that he'll go that high. If he doesn't, then sometimes I accidentally, why am I trying to see this? Sometimes I accidentally dash it, or jump into him. But, like, you don't have to. It's just that's me messing up. I don't have to go that much. If that makes sense. Like I said, it's kind of hard to explain. Right there, you just kind of have to adjust for the fact that he's going to do the... He's going to come out of that stagger doing one of 3 things. And right there, I saw that he was going to do the dash on the floor, so I had to just jump and down slash. Okay, that's perfect exactly right there. That's exactly what I want. I want nail, fireball, nail, jump, up slash, and go under him, let him go over me, and I turn around and nail fireball, and it'll stagger him on the first or second fireball hit. And right there, I reacted to the fact that he didn't jump. He just did the dash thing, so you just jump and down slash immediately. See, right there, he actually jumped really sharp, so I wasn't ready for it, but... He's out of staggers. Whoops, I meant to left. So once he staggers a certain... I actually don't know the amount of times, but once he staggers too many times and you haven't finished him yet, he just won't stagger anymore, and you just have to keep fighting him normally. If you didn't get a lot of double hits, you'll know by how long the fight goes on when he's out of staggers. If he dies pretty quickly after he runs out of staggers, then you know you got, you know, good DPS and a lot of double hits. That was a dumb idea on my part. I was actually looking at the ghost and was wondering why I didn't hit him. Again, I was expecting him to do the full jump, and he didn't. He didn't stagger there, I might have been dead. Okay. I meant to nail swipe left so that it would push me away from him, but because it nail swiped right, I was farther left than I wanted to be, and I walked into him. Fine. If he does a lot of those like jump up and dash wake ups from being staggered, those are the times where I end up playing a little too ballsy and dying. So as you can see right there, that was a good example of when he does like an empty hop or just like a jump and doesn't do any abilities. There's a lot of times during this fight where you can actually move him, like especially in midair. Like you have a lot of the say of like, oh, he's about to land on me, but if you up slash, it kind of pushes him just far enough to where you can make it like under him or whatever. What? I was spamming M instead of whatever. You can kind of get under him without getting hit. I did it like twice that fight. It's important to note for him and for Hornet too, you can kind of move them more than you think you can. Tried to hit him. Oh, okay. I meant to up slash, so I wouldn't get pushed back into that. I thought that would stagger. supposed to be an up slash. Luckily, dead. Yeah, this fight's not one where tips are going to do that much for you. Like, I mean, you can obviously watch me fight him and figure out kind of my rhythm of what I do. And, but of course, I'm actually not, I'm not executing everything perfectly every time. You know, there's mess-ups. It's a pretty difficult fight. Requires some decent reflexes to react to him, like, not jumping when he wakes up out of the stagger. And knowing that you have to, like, jump and down slash instead. Before I forget, you have to be really careful when you do what I just did, because basically I was here and I double fireballed and he got woken up from the stagger by one of the second hits, I think, and I dashed over and I landed about here and he was here about to do a move, right? And there was a ghost here, he was here, I was here. And instead of going after him, I went to get the ghost out of my way by jumping and I up slashed. But now I have to fall down and I have to fall down, and he's like, if he decides to jump, that's fine. I can just kind of dash or get out of the way or fall or whatever. But if he's gonna do his dash ability, it just kind of works out in a weird timing where you can kind of fall into this trap of trying to clear the ghost and then landing on top of him every time, and it gets really annoying. So that's all for Broken Vessel. Or for Lost Kin, sorry. Takes a lot of practice. A lot of bosses in this category take a lot of practice. It's a pretty intensive category as far as playing risky. Luckily, if you die to him or fail champion, it's not that big of a deal because they're dream bosses, so you can just go right back into the fight. Dying to something like Hornet 2 is a little bit more of a problem unless you safety bench before the fight, and even then it still wastes a good chunk of time. Ironically, it's dying to something like Elder Who at the very beginning is actually one of the most costly deaths because you have to run all the way back from Ancient Mound, get all the way back to him, and it's pretty obnoxious. And you can't have full soul, like you can't get full soul on the, oh my goodness, you can't get full soul on the way to him because you'll be dead, or like you won't have your shade, so you can only get 2/3. Okay, so run over, get the wings, save quit, and then you spawn here, Crystal Dash, right? So we're gonna go to Fail Champion, and so okay, so Fail Champion is basically all about getting doubles and triple hits with the fireballs at specific, like, it's based on 3 different phases. In the first phase, you have to get 2 double hits, or I'm sorry, you have to shoot 3 fireballs, and ideally get double hit on all 3. If you get 2 double hits and 1 single hit, it's not that bad. Oh, you have to bench here. I can't believe I almost just dashed past that. You want to get 3. You want to get as many double hits as you can. And basically, if you only get like 1 of them to double hit, or none, or you miss a fireball or something, it's going to make that first phase go on way longer, which is going to give you way more opportunity to die. And no matter how good you are at this fight, sometimes you just get really unlucky and start getting hit by rocks, which knock you in, like, out of your rhythm. And again, this fight's really rhythm based, to the point where, like, if I pause during it, I might just mess myself up and have to, restart or whatever. But basically, what's gonna happen is during the first phase, here, first we're gonna do this. I'll explain once I get there, sorry. You get 4 hits on the big guy and 2 hits on the tick-tick on the wall. You hit those 2 guys each once. That was unfortunate. And you hit one of those guys once, so you'll have full soul on the way. Okay, that's not... You're supposed to do this. Ooh. Okay, so basically, the double hits in the first phase are like, me and Scurry do them a little bit differently, but for the most part, a lot of times when he swings his mace at you and he hits the ground toward you, that's when you kind of press the button, especially if you want to kind of be kind of far away from, like, at least a third of the arena or half the arena away from him. And that'll make it to where his hitbox does some janky stuff when that happens. Basically, I go for a double hit off the very start of the fight because I don't want to have to worry about finding places to fit my fireballs in, right? I have a pretty easy time just getting nail hits in once I'm out of soul and just eventually getting him down. And obviously the more double hits you get, the less time that is going to take. But I'll show you. Whoops. I'll show you. This is how I do the first fireball right here, and it double hit. So then he jumped. That's whenever I shoot it. I kind of wasn't far enough to start right there. Scurry shoots a fireball right there. I kind of messed up because I was avoiding the rocks. Oops. Kind of messing up, but it's fine. Okay, so the rocks, when you hit them into them, do 2 nail hits of damage or 10 damage. Nail does 5, and the Shade Souls do 40 each. Basically, I'm going to show this fight a lot. It's a lot to talk about, but as you can see, I kind of just, like, when he does his standing, like, not jumping slam, I jump over it and hit him once up top, fall to the ground, hit him again, and dash away. And the jump is to get over the wave. But you also have to be on the lookout for these falling rocks that, like, sometimes you'll have an opportunity to hit him toward him because, like, you're moving, like, let's say he's here, I'm moving right, which means, like, in order to hit it at him, I have to get to the right side of it, then turn around and hit the rock toward him. And sometimes that can get really, like, you think you have enough time to turn around, but you don't actually, like, get the full turnaround or whatever, you don't get under it enough and you get hit. It can really throw off a rhythm. It's really difficult. So anyways, after the first phase, I'll show that again probably multiple times. But he's going to fall to the ground, and you have to get 12 nail hits after the first knockdown. Now, basically, let's say I got hit 3 times, 4 times, and I'm worried about my health, right? When you knock him down, on the first phase, he'll take 12 nail hits, but let's say I, like, hit him once with the nail and then stood there for, like, 3 seconds, he'll just get back up. And then now I'm just, like, that's horrible. I don't know exactly what happens with his health, but I think you miss out on a lot of, like you don't even get past the phase, essentially. I think it starts that phase over or something along those lines. Just don't do that. But let's say I wanted to heal once, right? I'm going to get 12 nail hits anyway. So after 3 nail hits, I can heal once. You have time to at least get a heal off. And every time you hit him with the nail, it resets the timer. So as long as you hit him with the nail, like, every 2 seconds or so, 3 seconds, then you'll keep him down. So just getting 1 health is fine on the first phase because you're gonna get 12 anyway. So you can actually just do 3 nail hits, heal once, and then do 9 nail hits. You'll have full soul. You have to end this with full soul. It's important. If I wanted to heal twice, you could do 3 nail hits, heal, 1 nail hit, dream nail, 1 nail hit, heal. Like, fit the dream nails and the healing in between the regular nail hits to keep him from getting back up. Like I said, the regular nail hits are what reset the timer. So that's how you would fit, like, if you really wanted to heal in this fight. Like, even on the next one, when you only get 8 nail hits, you could do, like, nail, dream nail, nail, dream nail, nail, heal, nail, dream nail. Like, you could just keep alternating to, like, get as much as you can. But I'm at full health, so I'm just going to hit him 12 times with nail. Oh, before I do that, After he gets up, I'm gonna hit him twice. Then he's gonna jump. I'm gonna hit him once, and then he's gonna land. I'm gonna hit him 3 times. Backwards for you, but whatever. Then I'm gonna go to the edge of the room, and he's gonna slam his mace back and forth, right, like he does in the regular fight. When I'm standing about here and he's in the middle, I want to get as far as I can, and then I'm gonna shoot when his mace hits the ground. Like I'm gonna press the button toward him when his mace hits the ground, and that's gonna make the fireball hit, and then hit him again, and then like when he's swinging this way, it's gonna hit him again, and it's gonna triple fireball. If you can get all 3 of your fireballs to triple fireball, then he'll just immediately fall back down, and hopefully I can show that here. If you got the 5 hits before he started his back and forth thing, and 2 of your fireballs triple hit, 1 of them double hit, then you only need either 1 rock or 2 nail hits. It's 10 damage. You'll be 10 damage short. So you just have to run up, hit him twice, or like hit a falling rock at him. Okay, see, 1 of them didn't triple hit, so then just 2 nail hits. So I'll show you what I mean by like, then I can dream nail, nail, heal, nail, dream nail, dream nail. Oh, before I go into this, on the second, after the second knockdown, you only get 8 nail hits. So you have to get 1 dream nail in, because otherwise you won't be at full soul, so you won't have enough for 3 fireballs. So you have to, I start off with a dream nail, you can nail dream nail if you want, but basically you can dream nail before he even pops out. So ideally just get to him as fast as you can, dream nail, and then get your 8 hits if you're not planning on healing. I just wanted to show the healing right there, but basically I'm more than fine now. 4 health is whatever. And that's what happens if you get all 3 triple hits. And now this phase doesn't really matter. He 8 hits again, but the fight's over at this point. Now, normally, you would, like, I go to here and I shoot a fireball and it hits him and kills him, and then I dash off to the left. But because I don't want to kill him, I want to start the fight over. I'm just going to dash off to the left without killing him. That'll basically restart the fight. Don't do that, obviously. Shoot your fireball and kill him. So, have to enter the fight with full soul. If you were to die, you want to dream nail. I have full soul right now because I hit infinite soul and then turned it off. So I know it doesn't look like full soul, but it is. As you can see, it says 100 MP. Right there. But if you die during this fight, you want to keep going. Those little 2 maggot guys, you can get one over to the wall and just dream nail 3 times, and you'll have full soul. If you can get both of them over there, you only have to dream nail twice. But yeah, there's a double hit again. I think that only single hits, so that's not good. I think that also only single hits, so that's also not good. So I'm keeping an eye out for where the rocks are falling. Luckily, they're being really nice right now. I mean, they weren't being nice as in letting me hit them toward him, but at least they weren't under my feet. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I just dodged both of those. So again, after the first knockdown, you can just get your 12 nail hits. That would be insanely bad. I missed an entire fireball because I shot the wrong way. Oops. Oh, needs a nail. Ooh, we are not looking good. Okay, so in this situation, even in like a world record pace run, when you need to do your fireballs, it's very timing based. You don't have a lot of flexibility. You like to get those triple fireballs. It's important. And sometimes you'll hit the fireball button, and then a rock will be falling, and you actually can't get out of the way, like, before it hits you. Like, there's just nothing you can do. Or you'll shoot it, and you'll have time to get out of the way, but then you'll miss your fireballs. You'll just get, you know, a double or a single. Or I don't know if you get a single during that. But basically, you'll get really screwed. So, going into the, like, having to do the fireballs, like, into the phase where you need to get triple hits with 1 health is nowhere close to advised. So normally I would just dream nail, nail hit, heal, nail hit, dream nail. So at least have 2. See, those rocks can just be very, very unfortunate. I'm gonna die right here on purpose just so I can restart the fight, but the fight was over essentially. I don't want to go ever into those phases where I have to go to the wall and then triple fireball with 1 health, because there's no telling whether you're gonna live or not. Those rocks can be really mean sometimes. But I would just risk the time, or I would just take the time loss rather than risking getting lucky. That only single hit. Oh. Think that double hit? Our rhythm is completely off in this fight. There we go. Rocks are being assholes. Oh my god, they're just in my way everywhere. So right here, I'd probably 1, 2, 3 heal and then get 9. So he's 2 hits short. Fine, then you have to get a dream nail. Start. There you go. Alright, I'm gonna die on purpose again. So yeah, like, learning to get the double hits in the first phase is probably the most important. It's the hardest. To know the timing. Like I said, I'm not even, obviously as you see, I'm not 100% with it. Sometimes I get single hits. Scurry also, like, I wait for him to do the jumping swings to do my fireballs in the first phase. Scurry just does them when he's standing still, and he like jumps, and as soon as the mace hits, he shoots the fireball and then dashes over the wave. But I don't like doing that. That also double hit, or single hit. Try to get under that to hit it toward him. That's bad. It's kind of unnecessary, but whatever. See right there, I luckily was able to move out of the way after the second fireball because I saw a rock was about to hit me. But it, like, that, the timing of that rock was it's just lenient enough to where I can kind of take a step forward and still get my triple fireball up. But every once in a while the rock would just be a little bit off of that timing, and it'll either hit you like before you need to move or after you need to, whatever. Oh, I need a dream now. Okay, so right there, needs 1 hit. Yeah, right there, I didn't get my full 5 hits before he went into his back and forth thing. I only got 4 because I missed the last one by like a little bit. So instead of taking 2 hits afterwards, it's just 3. Basically, if I would have triple hit all 3 fireballs, it does so much extra damage that no matter, I'm pretty sure, even if you got 0 hits, I think it would still push the phase. But those hits before are just in case one of them only double hits instead of triple hits, then you only need, 2 hits or whatever, like 2 nail hits. So right there, because I only got 4 instead of 5, then I just needed 3 afterwards. I'm gonna kill myself on purpose to restart the fight. We'll do it one more time. Trying to make sure I show all the different elements of it. Also, lately I've been getting to the arena differently than I've been doing it every time in this video where I do this. Oh, okay, well, that's why maybe you shouldn't. But, yeah, dash cross. Alright, that double hit. Oh my goodness. That double hit. I didn't get a jump off right there. Okay, that's really annoying. It ate my jump, so I couldn't get a double hit, which would have been really nice to have. I could still potentially die here if I just get really unlucky. Like that. I mean, well, that one really, it wasn't really that unlucky. I just kind of got baited by wanting to hit the rock at him and then not being high enough for the dash over the wave. See, that rock was literally exactly where I needed to land, and that one was where I needed to stop to fireball. I thought he was gonna jump. Alright, that one double hit. That'd have been good other than getting hit. I would probably heal here. Dream now. Yeah, that's failed champion. Then you wait for him to spawn, do a fireball and dash off. Talk to him. And then you can basically just be spamming start right here, because it actually won't let the menu come up until the the millisecond you get the essence, and you can immediately leave. Alright, so so once you spawn, dash over, or the one with the Z, and we go get Dream Gate. Whoops. One thing to note is when you're jumping up here, for some reason this one only doesn't, you see how I can just literally go through the bottom half of it? Only the very top has like a place to grab onto. These all, like, you can grab onto the bottom of these. Okay. For some reason this one, only because I had double jump. Yeah. Oh, see. Literally wouldn't let me grab it. Spam through all of our text. There's also a slightly different route where you get Dream Wielder, but I don't do it. There's route notes in the Discord for that one. Most of it's the same, other than you come here a little earlier before Failed Champion, so you can have it for that fight. I'm not a big fan of Dream Wielder, so I don't use it. So after you get it, you turn around, Crystal Dash out of here. Go 2 floors down and talk to him, and go to King Station, one with the box square thing. So as soon as you hear like the rain, start pressing Dream Nail and down, set a Dream Gate, and then Crystal Bash out of here. This room, you can actually dash right above the water. Let's see if I get it. Good. If you don't get it, you'll just have to just kind of swim under, or you can do like a tiny jump and dash and you can get under, but... So, okay, so you see these things on the wall that I'm jumping on? This right here, this little symbol. You want to get right above this fourth one and crystal dash over. Now, this is a trick that is, it's kind of difficult, but I found it's a little bit easier if, to make sure when you're in the screen transition, oh my god, the screen transition, just had a lisp for a second, you want to have no neutral input, don't press anything. And once you get through, you're going to dash right before you hit the acid, and then full jump. And you're going to still land in the acid, but it's going to spawn you on the platform. And I'll show you what I mean. Don't press anything. And then, like that. So basically what happened was, as soon as I saw that I was going to clear that little, whatever, the bottom thing, you want to dash, and while your character is dashing, start holding right, and then jump as soon as your dash is done. So like as soon, so you don't dip down at all, essentially. You land here and then crystal dash. And now this crystal dash that's coming up right here is a little tricky, but you want to, whoops. I'm going to kill him just to, so I can show you what I mean. Oh my god, I tried to not get hit by him, but... I should have 4 health, but whatever. So basically, you crystal dash and hit that wall. I knew that was going to happen. But you're going to hit here. So you're going to jump over, do that, and then crystal dash. This might be too high. It is. So basically, this bottom part is like really hard to start a crystal dash on, but you have to be low enough like that to clear this. So basically, it's like, do that, and like that. But that's also still too high. So it's like, you're going to hit this wall. Alright, that one cleared it. It's kind of tight. Okay, so here is the optional Hornet safety bench. I'm probably going to take it at GDQ, just because if you die to Hornet, it's like a 2-minute run back. Maybe like a minute. Whatever. Actually, it is a minute. But for the run, I normally have 4 health here, so I'll go ahead and get hit on purpose so I can show this fight with 4 health. So right here, basically, I get around this corner, and right where this first one starts, there's like a little wall right here. I dash into it in inventory drop. Alright, so this fight is actually pretty difficult. It's very awkward to me. I'm not a big fan of it, but basically, she can do a parry, or a counter. It's really a counter. And it also counters spells, so you have to be really careful about when you decide to hit her with spells. It's another fight where it's just a lot based on feel. Actually, Failed Champion is easier to explain than Lost Kin in this fight. The Lost Kin in this fight are basically like, you have to kind of develop your own style and like the way you deal with her moves. Mine might not even be that optimal, but I mean, they're good enough for me. And I'm still working on this fight every day, so... and every once in a while I still lose fights, or lose runs to this fight, so basically I'll just show what I do during this fight. And that's the worst thing that she can do, is counter your spell when you're up close. Try not to die. The fight can be kind of scary, and by kind I mean very. I normally come in here with 4 health and no soul, so recreate that. Oh, she was one hit away from stack. Oh my god, that almost hit me. That's okay. It's not like there's not much I can explain other than when she staggers up against the corner, I do a forward and then I kind of jump up a little bit and up slash and then turn around and try to get a back or like a slash when she's like getting away from me. Sometimes she jumps too far and I actually don't get that hit, but then if I have soul, I fireball if she's far enough to double hit. If she's close, sometimes I'll still fireball if I have high health, like 4. Maybe not even have, if I have 3, because if she's in your face and you try to fireball, A, you're not going to get a double hit unless she jumps backwards, and B, if she counters, then you're just going to get hit. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm not a big fan of getting hit in this fight. One hit away. I didn't jump high enough. That's kind of a rare mistake by me. Sometimes she jumps a little too sharp like that. Oh, I was just out of range. Oh my gosh, she went way higher than I thought. I knew she was pretty close to dying. I'm not going to show this fight a lot. Whoops. Mostly just because even I'm not, perfect at it, and it mostly just comes down to how you want to approach it in practice. How often do you get hit when trying certain things? But being aware of her stagger count, which she's 1 away from right now, is very important because it dictates how risky you can be in the next move you're going to do. Like, there's a lot of times where I'll be dashing at her, and she's about to do a move, and if she wasn't gonna stagger on my next... Oh my god, I hate it. She should not be able to parry spells, I'm sorry. Or counter spells, sorry. Like that. So yeah. That's Hornet 2. Bit of a tricky fight, but... You're gonna come down here, grab this, and then you're gonna crucifix out. And Bug Waifu is going to save us. And then we're going to Dream Gate out. Now, it's important right here that if you start a Dream Gate, like, immediately as soon as you get control of your character, sometimes it'll do this weird thing where he starts the Dream Gate and then he just stops, and then you can't Dream Nail again at all. It's like locked out. Like, you're locked out of that that input. Like, it just won't let you for some reason. So you have to actually leave the room. You have to get to a screen transition, and the closest one is all the way across the left, and you just lose, like, 5 seconds. So I always just let myself kind of stand there for a second. I kind of let the save icon like come and go, or like I'll start it like halfway through the save icon animation just to make sure that I don't get locked out of it, because it's really annoying. It used to happen to me a lot. So you spawn right where you need to, talk to the stack, and you're gonna go to the bottom one, which is always hidden station, and Dream Nail all the way across. And you're gonna take a pee break, or you're gonna take a drink of your water or whatever, because you have Crystal Dash all the way across that. So then... I don't know if Crystal Dashing before this is worth, but Crystal Dashing right here is worth because you have all the time in the world to charge it until you mess it up like that. Okay, so what I do, I'm going to kind of no clip to show you, but okay, so I use this thing as a reference. Right here is where I want to be when I start my inventory drop. like if you're right here, it's okay, but right there is better because basically there's gonna be like a ledge that goes across down like that, and you're gonna land like right on this ledge, so then you can go over. If you land down here, then you have to jump and go over. And for some reason, right as you come out of the inventory, it like lets you do one input, but it's gonna eat your second input. I don't know why. So basically, I do this. And inventory drop right, like that second ledge is like right here. Like let's say it ends. I need a reference at this tip, right? You want to like be right here next to the right next to the ledge, and then drop and you land right here. You're gonna push dash over the right. You want to stop early. Now this part is a bit freestyle. You have to be aware of where the shades are, and this takes a bit of practice. But you have to use them to climb up. I mean, you could just let them go around you or whatever, but that'd be slower. Then crystal drop right where there's like spikes, or there's like bees coming off the ceiling, whatever, right at the first like tip of the first one, and you can just crystal drop or inventory drop down to the bottom, then crystal dash over. Now, this is a fairly new discovery, but we found out that for Shade Cloak, you can actually do this. As soon as you touch the water, you can save and quit out, which is going to make the timer pause for a little bit, which is way faster in-game time than sitting there and watching the animation. Basically, the reason you keep seeing me do that is because for 1221 normally, like not debug mode, it always is like hovered over this, and then on when you press start in game, it's always hovered over the middle option, so down one is quit. But in debug, it doesn't do that, so down one is options, and like that. See, whenever I pause, it starts here, where in the normal game it starts here. So that's why I keep pressing down one and pressing X. Anyways, so once you spawn, move around for a second. And then Dream Nail. If you started Dream Nail too early, it doesn't actually lock you out like in the other one, but it will just like cancel your Dream Nail for some reason. Start again. So here, you want to ring the bell. Make sure to do that. It'll help your Gorb segment. And again, you're going to do all this the same way until you get to the room after this one. But, oh, I got the dash again. It's kind of tight. I'm surprised I got it twice. So instead of going up the wall this time, you're going to go down to the right. Yes, I have lost runs to going to the wrong one of these. Then, basically me and Scurry do this differently, but you just want to get across this room as fast as you can while gaining as much soul as you can. Oops. But if you don't get full soul, it's fine because you can get full soul in this next room. But the main point is just don't get hit because Markoth can be kind of an asshole. You get all the health, or you can get all the soul you want from those guys. I think they take like 7 or 8 hits, so you're more than fine. On 2 of them getting full soul. So anyways, this is Markoth. Markoth is obnoxious. Is one of the 2 worst bosses in this route, or this category, sorry. Umu's not as bad, he's just annoying at how much time you can lose while you're doing nothing wrong. But as far as like obnoxiously RNG that can actually kill you, Markoth is probably the second worst. No Eyes is the worst, but Markoth can also be pretty bad. But one main tip that helped me a lot for Markoth, because I was losing runs to him pretty kind of often, was basically he takes 6 spell hits, or 6 fireball hits, so 3 double hits, and then 2 nail hits, so he'll have 10 health left over. So basically, once you shoot your first 2 fireballs, if you didn't get double on both of them, don't fireball the third one, because let's say you, like, once he gets hit by 4 fireball hits, he's going to spawn his second shield, which makes it way harder to get nail hits on him. So basically what you want is you want to shoot the first 2 fireballs, and if you don't get double on both, go up to him and get soul first, because you're going to have to get soul anyway, and you want to do that before he spawns his second shield, so that's important. I'll do this fight a couple times. It's fairly quick. Yeah, I didn't get a double hit on the second one. Now he's got the other stupid shield out. And you see how fast you can just take damage if he just kind of sits on top of you, and then needles flying in from off screen, and his shields are obnoxious while you're trying to get nail hits. That's why also by coming in here with full soul and full health is important. That was a double hit. That was a double hit. So you can go ahead and shoot your third one, and then you just gotta get one more nail hit and he's dead. That's ideal. Sometimes he'll fly toward you, and it's really hard to get double hits. But you just kind of got to play it by ear. Takes a good amount of practice to get consistent with. Oh, whoops. Might just do it one more time. Dream Warriors are, there's not much to talk about other than just. They are mine. There we go. So again, I'm gonna do the thing where I dream nail and then start the second dream nail to cancel it. But this time, instead of stopping the second dream nail, you're gonna start it and then hold up. And basically, you're gonna teleport out, and right before you're gone, it's gonna give you the essence, and it's like really. Like, it's perfect timing. It's really fortunate that it works out that way. So basically, I'm gonna wait. No, it's too early. The Dream Nail, and then Dream Nail again, but hold up. You see I'm at 998, and right before it goes to white, I got the 300 from. So then, you're going to Stag to Dirtmouth. So we're gonna go kill Gorb. One of the easiest bosses and the quickest boss of the whole run if you do it right. You want to bench here. Important. Ball. It happens for some reason when you walk in that door. It just like starts your timer for no reason. Oh, okay. So what I do is I get 2 hits from this guy, but you will still have your soul left over from Markarth if you have any. So this could be slightly different if you ended that fight with soul, which admittedly you shouldn't have that much, but it's possible. Whoops. The goal is to have 8 out of 9 soul here at least. That would be 8. Oh, before I start this, basically what's going to happen if I do it right is I'm going to jump up, nail hit him once. That's going to give me full soul, but it's also important. It's going to push him back a little bit, and then I'm just going to fireball 3 times, and if I get it right, he's just going to die. I didn't get it right. Just where's what am I looking for? Oh, here we go. I just want to leave the area so I can respawn. Word. Oops. I kind of messed up because I paused, but basically it'd be like this. Okay, it just didn't shoot. Definitely press. I actually have to pee so badly that I'm probably going to split this tutorial into 2 parts so that I'll just dead air while I go pee. It's just not shooting. Hello? Why is it doing that? It's definitely not supposed to be a thing. So that's Gorb. Okay, so, and this is a little bit different because you don't want to Dream Gate, you want to save quit, but basically it matters how you do it just because you're going to Dream Gate, or Dream Nail, and then use it to cancel, but don't Dream Teleport away. And then you're going to go find something to get hit by. So basically I'm going to start it, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to get hit by this Crawlet on purpose. So that way I can press start right there, right as it changes to 100 more essence, and that way it will, because otherwise, like, you can move around, but you actually can't open up the start menu. It won't let you just press start for like 3 seconds or 2 seconds or so, and getting hit cancel that. So I'm going to go to the bathroom really fast, and I'm going to split this into 2 segments. The second one might be shorter, but I will be right back.